Hey, Jay here with McLogan Supply Company, and today we're going to talk a little bit about screen print with white inks. Why are they so difficult and frustrating to work with? What can we do to make their performance better and easier to work with? And why do we even need white ink? Well, the reason we need white ink is, unlike most industries that are doing graphic printing, most of our work that comes in is not going to be on white. It's going to be strong colors, darks, anything else but white. So what we need to do is create that white canvas or base, and the way we're going to do that is with a high opacity or low bleed ink. So natural to those characteristics, we're creating a thick, real viscous ink that's going to block that background color coming through. So this can be a real pain when we're on the press. So what do we do to fix that? Well, we have viscosity modifiers and reducers to actually modify the ink, get it to pass through the screen a little bit easier. We have different coating techniques to get it a little bit thicker deposit. And we also have a few other just little tricks here and there, like getting the palettes warm ahead of time, storing your white inks in a warmer environment than most of the other inks, and what can we do to change the performance and printing qualities of white inks? Well, a quick and easy solution is using a reducer or viscosity modifier. These are going to change how the ink actually flows, how it works, the ink itself. There's the curable reducers, there's viscosity reducers, as I said, like this LBX, which is a very advanced kind of viscosity reducer, minimal amounts in inks, and only really for the more advanced users. We also have a low bleed reducer and all around curable reducers. Actually, both these are curable, and today we're going to be using the low bleed curable reducer. We don't want to affect the opacity of that white ink. Again, if we affect it, we're going to have to lay down more white ink, creating more work for us, things we want to avoid. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using a little bit of 1099 low bleed reducer from International Coatings in our plastisol, and we're only going to add about 4% by weight. We really don't want to thin it out too much. You're going to see a huge difference in the viscosity of the ink. It's going to help us get through the mesh a little bit easier, reducing print flash type of processes. So let's load some ink up on the screens. We're going to put it through a 110 and a 160 mesh, and we're going to see what the different results are that we get. All right, now we have ink loaded up in our screens. We're going to go ahead and print. I'm going to start by just slightly warming up our platens here, just a few seconds under our flash. And I'm doing this just because things do warm up on a press as we start production. The platens will get a little bit warmer. That heat will transfer into your inks through your frames a little bit. It's going to get the inks a little bit looser, make them move a little bit better. So I'm not getting this very hot at all. Just a few seconds under there, warm things up, just kind of get things pre-prepped here. We're going to take a little bit of spray adhesive, spray down our palette here. Going to put a test pellet down. And we're going to do just one pull on this 160 mesh, see what kind of results we get here. I'm going to start just by flooding our image. And when I'm doing the flood, I'm actually doing this off. I have the screen actually lifted up a little bit using my finger. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull the ink doing one pull. Some people push. We're going to do a pull here. And when I do this, I'm going to be keeping about a 30-degree angle roughly here. And I'm going to pull evenly, a little bit of downward pressure. I'm not trying to force it into the fabric. I'm trying to keep it on top of the fabric. And we'll see what one pull looks like. I saw how the frame popped back. That's that off contact we're always talking about. Really crucial with printing white inks. We definitely want a solid off contact on this. You can also go ahead and flood this image back if you have a lot of ink buildup here on the screen. Most of mine stayed on the squeegee. You can also notice we're using a little bit extra ink with the white. There's not a ton on here just because we're doing it just a couple test prints, but I'm always going to load more white ink than I need for the most part for these jobs. Now, a little blotchy here on the side, but that's simply my fault. I didn't have even pressure over there. Pretty good covering, but when we go ahead and set this under the flash, we are going to see a little bit of the background color come back through that. We're going to go ahead and flash it. We're not going to cure it. We're going to flash it. So we're just getting the top basically dry to the touch. We're going to flash it first for about 15-20 seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and hit it with another white. Now I want this to kind of cool down before I hit it with the other white. Otherwise it's really going to have a problem with sticking. Once things get going again, once the press gets going, your flash times are going to decrease a little bit because things are getting warmer. So we're going to be hitting it with heat from both sides once the platens get a little bit warmer. So let's go ahead and do a little touch test. I still got a little bit of ink on that side. It's a little wet. So we'll go ahead and hit that under the flash again. Now remember, we're not trying to cure. If we over cure it and we do our job, go ahead and put it into the conveyor, it's definitely going to over cure in that part. Then we're going to get a lot of cracking or ink falling off after a wash. There we go. Let's go ahead and do our second coat. There we go. We have a really solid white there. Again, I'm missing a little bit right there, but that's only because I'm not using even pressure. And we're just trying to see the result difference between a 110 and a 160. So this was a 160, like I said. Our emulsion coating was just a 1-in-1 front and back, so it's not a super thick emulsion. We're not building a huge deposit that way. I'm going to just go ahead and flash this again real quick so we can see kind of our end result of our base white. And using the 160, it's going to give us a little bit of a softer hand with this white. We're not going to get as much buildup. So there we go. If I put a thermal strip here or hit it with the IR, we would probably be reaching about 330 on the surface right when I pull it out of the flash. But that doesn't mean the ink has gotten to that point yet. We're just hitting the top layer, so it'll finish the curing process in the conveyor. If you don't have a conveyor, obviously we're going back to the flash, and times are going to fluctuate depending on your environment, but it's really crucial that the inks get hit all the way through with that heat. We can't just hit it on the top, not cure the bottom. It's going to fall off the shirt, cause all kinds of issues. So let's go ahead and load up our 110 mesh, do our same print. However, with the 110, we're using the same ink. We're going to use the same 70 durometer squeegee. Just about everything is the same, but we did also do a 2-in-1 coating on our screen. So we have a thicker deposit on the print face. It's going to allow a little bit more ink to deposit on that first pass or any passes. Depending on what you're looking for, this may be a good or bad thing. So if we're doing like numbers for jerseys, things like that, anywhere where we want a decent amount of deposit, this is a great coating method, especially for your base. Again, we're going to go ahead and just flood our image there. And with this, you can see we hit so much more ink in there. Even though the first one was good after the first hit, we're getting a really opaque base here. We're going to go ahead and flash that guy for a few seconds. And again, as these warm up, and then once you actually get into a production, you're going to be moving the press in one direction. So if you are going to do a second hit on white, we can make it so the pallets come all the way around, cool down completely before we hit it with that second white. Again, if it's hot, it's going to tend to stick back to that screen. A little taxel on the right side. So there you go. With the 110 mesh, we got a really excellent base down. We used a 2-in-1 coating method on the screen. So we did one on the back side, one on the print, one on the back side to finish up. We're always going to finish on that back side, pushing the emulsion towards the front so that we can create that gasket. Thicker the gasket is, the more emulsion we put on there, more ink we can deposit down in one pass. On the 160, we did a 1-in-1. We did 2 passes as well when we pulled our ink And we got a slightly thinner, slightly softer hand to the print. So that would be really ideal for a thinner, lighter tee, a blend or something like that. The 110 with a slightly thicker, really good for sweatshirts, slightly heavier cottons, and all kinds of other applications, jerseys, things like that. So either way, laying down your white base is one of the most important steps in screen printing. You follow this and you're going to be guaranteed success. White is a huge part of printing, so we're going to be touching more on this in other videos, but we just want to go through the basics with you today. Subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, or check us out on Instagram. You can also go to McLogan.com, get any of the products we use in these videos, or call 1-800-McLogan and talk to any of our sales associates. They'd be more than happy to help you. Thanks for watching. You have a great day.